What's going on, you guys? It is the Log, and I'm coming back at you with another video. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit more about XDefiant. So we're fresh off of the open beta, which was about a week and a half ago now. And after taking some time to reflect, I really just wanted to make a video and maybe just make some comments, how far could XDefiant actually go in terms of taking over the scene when it comes to first-person shooters, competitive 6v6, aka could it take over Call of Duty? So guys, I'm gonna try and split this up a little bit into like almost like a pros and cons style of video about XDefiant. So guys, I have a couple of pros here. My first pro being, to me, XDefiant, it's a very, very fresh twist on classic first-person shooter 6v6 Call of Duty style gameplay. And what I mean by this, guys, is it's almost like a throwback, but yet that throwback, since we haven't seen it in forever, it's almost a fresher style, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to describe, but when you're playing that beta, it's like you're locked in. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't had that much fun playing pubs, playing like public 6v6 first person shooter style games. I haven't had that much fun playing that style of game in literally years. The only fun I have in Call of Duty is playing 4v4 competitive or 5v5, whichever the title ends up being. But I could not tell you the last time I had a absolute blast playing pubs in Call of Duty. I could not hop on COD right now, queue up Domination or Hardpoint, whatever, in pubs, and I could not play it for more than maybe a game or two. It is just so dry. There's nothing to play for. Stats really don't matter. There's nobody cares about leaderboards. And now I'm not saying that there is going to be that in XDefiant. I honestly don't know what they have in store for the leaderboard system. I would love to see a global leaderboard with KD, win-loss, damage, etc. Somewhat how older Call of Duties used to have. You could go onto the global leaderboards and see, damn, like I'm playing a demon, you know what I mean? And hopefully make that stuff public within the lobbies. Hey, you can pull up a guy's player card or his profile in the game, and you can view their KDs, you can view their win losses, etc., etc. You can't see that stuff anymore in modern day CODs, which I personally hate. I used to love getting into an old game of Call of Duty. You see a guy who's, fourth prestige and the game's been out, 2 weeks, and it's like, oh shit, like I'm about to get fucking slammed, or like I hope he's on my team so he can carry us, you know what I mean? And that brings me into my other talking point, also being a pro, that allegedly, hopefully, there will be a prestige system in XDefiant. Mark Rubin, who's an executive producer at Ubisoft, tweeted out on June 24th a Twitter poll asking about what players would like to see as far as a prestige system. He mentions, would players rather enjoy the classic 10 prestige level, or would players prefer the more modern style of levels just reset every season? Now for me, this is an absolute no-brainer to me. Bring back old prestiges, man. Bring back the cool emblems for different prestiges. Again, man, everybody will know when you hop into that game with a guy who's 8th prestige, 9th prestige, and everybody else is sitting at like 2 or 3. Like, everybody will know either A, that dude's sweaty as hell, B, he has no life, or C, he's a demon, or D, all the above. And I absolutely love that. I miss that factor in Call of Duty. So hopefully Mark Rubin and the guys at Ubisoft will listen to the community. The results on that poll, out of 31,584 votes, 72% preferred the classic 10 level prestige system. So guys, I've talked about how XDefiant, at least in the beta, has been a fresh twist on a classic 6v6 player versus player first person shooter, aka Call of Duty. And I've also touched base on the prestige system, which hopefully, again, that would be an absolute W. Another pro that I have going towards XDefiant and how far it could possibly go is just the fact that it has Ubisoft backing. It's made by Ubisoft. Ubisoft is a very, very good company. They are constantly improving games, constantly making games better, at least when compared to Activision and Infinity Ward, Call of Duty, etc. Activision has not done pretty much anything that the community has asked for. In the past, they've obviously shown that they really only care about the bag, which I can't necessarily say I blame them, but they don't really give a shit about what the community thinks. They really don't care about what anybody, for that matter, unless you're paying them, they don't really care about your opinion. They're going to make their game however the hell they want to make it. And honestly, I just think that's wrong. We've already seen that guys like Aches and, I mean, Mark Rubin himself, these guys that are surrounded with XDefiant. I mean, I was watching Parasite or somebody's stream. I can't remember. Maybe it was Fellow. Somebody was playing XDefiant during the open beta, and Aches hops into his chat and is saying like, "Oh yeah, like how are you liking it? Blah blah blah." And who I think it was Fellow. And during this stream, he was saying like, "Hey, like this is happening because of this," or like Fellows saying like, "Yeah, like I mean, I'm having a blast, but like this needs to change," or like I think this is a little bit of an issue. And it's bro, he knows it's a beta. The dude's a smart guy, and Aches is saying like, "Yeah, well, like the reason that this is like that is because of this." You know what I mean? He's giving him hands-on, behind-the-scenes answers, man. I could not tell you the last time I saw a person within Activision and or Call of Duty hop into somebody's chat and say, "Hey, this is happening because of this." It's just not like that. They're not hands-on, and hopefully, XDefiant, even after release, as it continues to be developed, hopefully they continue to listen to the community as much as they have, because obviously that is a huge selling point. And guys like myself, I love seeing stuff like that because it shows you, hey, like we care about our game and we care about what the players think. It can only get better if you listen to what your community is saying. Lastly, guys, the perhaps the biggest pro to me with XDefiant is they seemingly have a pretty damn cut and dry plan. Per XDefiant's official Twitter, they already have a graphic made of a year one roadmap. And according to the year one roadmap, they have 4 seasons already announced with 4 different faction code names: Ruby, Buzz, Orchard, and Horde. Now, with these seasons, they don't have lengths on them, but I mean, I would imagine 30 days, 45, 60 days, something like that probably. And within each new season, again, there's going to be 4 of them. There will be 3 new weapons, 3 new maps, and then 90 tiers to the Battle Pass. Which, Battle Passes, I mean, Fortnite paved the way. I don't think Battle Passes are necessarily a bad thing. I think they're a good thing as long as the developers of the games don't use them strictly as easy money grabs and make the content within the Battle Passes actually worth a damn or worth your wallet. You know what I'm saying? So again, guys, that is 3 new weapons, 3 new maps, and 90 tiers of the Battle Pass for each season. There's 4 seasons, so they're already saying there's going to be 12 new maps and 12 new weapons, along with, let me do my math, 360 tiers to a Battle Pass. Now again, we don't have a time frame of this. This is just clearly off of their year 1 roadmap. This is fantastic for a game to have this already planned out. If anything comes up, oh well, we still have our outline to fall back on, and ultimately we have a plan that we're trying to follow through with. Also within the year 1 roadmap, per their graphic, they're going to have new arena and progression modes, and also the biggest one for me, they're going to have a ranked mode. Now, somebody in the comments can probably tell me differently. I don't know if the ranked mode has been confirmed to be released at the full launch date, which again is later this summer. I don't believe there's an actual release date yet. We've just been told it's going to be later this summer of 23. But if there's a ranked mode out upon launch, that is absolutely awesome. It just took Call of Duty like 2 or 3 months to drop a ranked mode, and I mean, it's infested with hackers now. So, I mean, hopefully Ubisoft doesn't have that issue. I wouldn't think they would, considering, Rainbow Six Siege has a very good anti-cheat. And if they don't use the same one, I don't know how all that stuff works. I'm not a doctor. But, hopefully they'll have something just as reputable as an anti-cheat in XDefiant. Along with the ranked mode, there will also be private matches and caster cams, which we can see where they're coming at, guys. Obviously, they see XDefiant being a fairly competitive game, which is absolutely awesome because, honestly, iron sharpens iron. It's nothing but good for the community, in my opinion. Call of Duty is either going to have to step up their game or they're going to get ran out of town by XDefiant. There's no in between, I don't think. I mean, yes, we could end up with, 2 platforms that are both great, in which case, that's the best case scenario. There's nothing wrong with having 2 games that you can hop back and forth on and have an absolute blast and ultimately a great playing experience. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But right now, the issue is we don't have any of that. I could not tell you the last time I turned on Call of Duty on my PC. It has been probably a solid 3 weeks to a month. I just have no desire to play it. And ultimately, I know I'm going to run into hackers in ranked, being around Crimson area. and above, so there's really no need for me to even hop onto that game at this point. So the only things I can think of going against XDefiant at this point, and quite literally the most obvious, it is so new still. It is not even fully released yet, as we know. Who knows, guys? This game, upon full release, I hope this doesn't happen, but I mean, who knows? It could be infested with issues. I don't think it will be because the beta was. I'd rate the beta about a 7.5, 8 out of 10 probably. I didn't really have that many server issues or anything like that in the beta. The movement, it's there. It needs some work still. It was kind of clunky at times. I felt like if you were sliding and jumping and whatnot, like your gun, your guy's character, I don't know, something with like the gun just wouldn't, like if you were ADSing or something right after you slid and came into a jump or something, it wouldn't iron up as fast as I would like it to. I'm sure they're going to tweak that type of stuff before full release because they're not like a company that everybody else knows. But who knows? Maybe it will launch with that type of stuff and we'll just have to deal with that. I highly doubt it though. And then the second biggest con, and quite frankly the last con, it is not Call of Duty. It is XDefiant. It is a different title, it is a different engine, and it is not made by Activision, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, etc. Again, it is made by Ubisoft. It is completely different. Now, it has obviously taken multiple bits and pieces of Call of Duty and tried to tweak it and make it their own, which I think they're still doing a fantastic job of doing that. But guys, it's ultimately, it doesn't have the name Call of Duty. Ultimately, they're going to have to make their way onto the scene, and with the strong community backing that I feel like they're already building, I feel like they're on their way to doing just that. I feel like they're going to be a very, very strong competitor against Call of Duty, and who knows, if they get some competitive tournaments going right off the rip, if they have this big backing behind it, who knows, guys? I think the sky is the limit for XDefiant. I think we could see it run Call of Duty out of town, or to me, the best case scenario being Call of Duty is going to say, oh shit, like we're about to get ran out of town. Let's wake up, let's start making our game the way that we know we can make it and start listening to the community. And if they don't, bet your ass people are going to start switching to XDefiant. I think that's when people are going to really start saying, oh man, like XDefiant could actually really pull something off here. In summation, guys, XDefiant, the beta, I had an absolute blast playing with buddies, and I cannot wait for the full release of this game. I feel like the potential for this game is through the roof. I saw a bunch of Call of Duty pros, ex-pros playing it. Of course, Aches. Everybody knows Aches is, deeply involved in the development of the game. It's an absolute W. I can't wait to see where this game goes, and hopefully it can dethrone Call of Duty. And ultimately, it doesn't have to dethrone Call of Duty. As long as XDefiant stays on this path, listens to its community, they stick to their plan that they already have in place, and they fix the little nitpicky bugs and everything else, this game will be very, very fun to play come full release. And it will be pretty hard to hop off of the sticks once you start playing it. Let me know what you guys think. I sound like a broken record. I'm absolutely looking forward to this game. I cannot wait for it to come out fully. I'm going to be grinding it, and ultimately it'll give me something to play, and I am going to be absolutely ecstatic come release date. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.